Hey, gang. Thanks for coming back. This is Dave with the Match Grade Podcast. I've got Matt here. And first of all, I want to put a message out to everybody who's a subscriber. Thank you guys for supporting us and coming on board. We're just hit a year.
Has it been a year?
It's been a year already. Holy cow. We're up to like 1,400 subscribers, which is good.
I should have said it's only been a year.
Yeah, it's only been a year. It's been so much fun. It feels like longer.
It's been so much fun. It feels like work. I mean, no. Scratch that. Sorry.
We've had fun doing this, and we're going to keep doing it as long as it's still fun and informative for you people.
Dave must have a mouse in his pocket.
Yeah, I must. We know Matt. We saw that one video, Matt. We watched that. We just kind of sat back and didn't want to be here for some reason. I don't know. Your face was angry.
It's my normal face.
Anyways, gang, thank you for the past year. Thanks for coming on board. Thanks for supporting us. You guys are awesome. Great feedback. We've got some great interaction going. Awesome comments. Good feedback. A bunch of subscribers. We want more. Let's spread out some more.
Yeah, let's keep it up. Keep moving forward.
We've had some good episodes that hit really high numbers. Apparently, everybody wants to learn about legalities and not much about other stuff.
The stuff that I think is fun is not necessarily what everyone listens to, unfortunately.
I know. I tried to tell you, Matt. But that's okay. We'll find some more stuff that's fun. Going with that, guys, don't forget, tell us what you want to hear about. You can tell us in the comments. Get a hold of us. Or it's not like we're hard to find. You can send us messages or whatever, and just tell us, what about this or what about that? What do you guys think about this thing? And maybe we'll do a podcast on it. Right?
Yeah.
In the end, what we're going to do, since this is our 1-year anniversary, we're going to answer your questions. Some of the ones that came through.
Oh, boy.
Some of them are pretty interesting. Some of them are really good. And some of them kind of a WTF moment when they came up on the thing. All we ask is, guys, keep them civil. Don't go crazy on us. So why don't we jump right into it? What do you think, Matt? Matt, before we jump into it, Matt, what would you like to say?
What would I like to say? I want to say thank you for all the interactions, comments, and new subscribers. It's great to see those numbers go up. It's good to go in there and see the commentary. I really, really enjoy that too.
Yeah.
And all the interaction. So yeah, this has been awesome. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it growing. And the way we can do that is to, share this out. Let everybody know about it, but also, like you were saying, let us know what you want us to talk about. What interests you, and we'll try to accommodate and do some stuff. So, thank you, everybody.
Absolutely, and guys, Matt, I think you'll agree. We got to put a special thank you out to Ed. He is the one who really made this happen.
Man
because
behind all of this. That is correct.
We've had the idea. We tried a couple of videos. We talked about it forever,
but he has put this together. He's made this work, literally, quite literally.
He's made it work. So
gang, thank Ed in the comments too, please.
Please thank Ed. Make it good, because this is a lot of fun, and then the back and forth we get into. He picks on me being older, and I can get to pick on him when he's younger. I think, is he shaving yet? I don't know. Maybe.
Will he ever shave?
I don't know.
I won't ever shave. So.
Yeah, he's blessed with the heritage that he probably doesn't have a lot of facial hair.
I don't know. That's a challenge. New challenge.
Anyways, we're gonna stop picking on Ed a little bit.
Thanks, Ed. Thank you, though.
But in the event, I'm going to say it right here. Thank you, Ed. You've helped us get this going, and I know you love what you're doing. So, and you've made it fun. So, thank you. And he's sitting right across from the table from us, so we're just not making this stuff up. Right. I'm ready to duck because he's going to say, "Stop, Dave." He's blushing. I think I made him blush.
Watching.
He's always watching. Oh, he's communicating to Matt with his communication finger.
Thanks, Ed. I know I'm number one.
Yeah, that's right. He's actually it's number 3. Depending on All right, guys. So let's get into these questions, and then we'll have some fun with them.
In no particular order.
No particular order.
Oh, God.
Well, how about this? Matt, actually, you were kind of a lead on this.
Oh, geez.
What other podcasts or influencers do you follow?
Oh man, what other podcasts are influencers?
So, guys,
Do I
from what
follow?
I've seen of Matt, because when I come in the office and I'll bring up the computer and I can tell Matt's been on YouTube once in a while.
Should have erased the brother history, son of a bitch.
Ruh-roh. Camping, outdoor stuff, which if you know Matt, you know he's into that stuff.
Yep.
He's into it.
Overlanding. Yep.
Overlanding, yeah. He's looking at gear,
Yep.
he's looking at overlanding gear, but he's also looking at gun gear. I know he's doing research for what we can bring to the students.
Yeah. Yep.
But, what else? What else do you watch, Matt?
So even we'll be completely upfront here. Even off of the gun topics, I don't watch a whole lot of GunTube anymore because I did that for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think I almost reached the end of the internet. In my previous life, we had a lot of downtime and we had the internet. So yes, I did a lot of GunTube. I still do get into the genre and a lot of research more stuff. I still enjoy watching a Hickok 45 video every once in a while.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Still enjoy that.
The standbys.
Still
You gotta
enjoy
have
like
them.
demolition rants every once in a while. I don't watch every video anymore. Like at one time,
Do
probably
they blow up farms?
Blow up farms, yes. But I've gotten more into other topics, especially like the overlanding stuff.
Oh, yeah.
The camping stuff. Honestly, the one channel that has nothing to do with any of this stuff my wife and I watch is called Kara and Nate, and they're just world travelers. And they travel all over to different places.
Oh,
in the
you've
world.
talked about them.
Talked
Yeah.
about them. They're just a great couple, and it's enjoyable, and it's something outside of my normal realm. So I like watching them. But yeah, so I watch a whole variety of stuff. I think my subscriptions on YouTube are actually into the thousands. So
How do you keep track of them all?
I don't. There's no way. It just allows stuff to pop up in your recommended, and I see different stuff.
Yeah.
But the other one we watch a lot is Matt's Off-Road Recovery.
You got me hooked on that a little bit
and
for a while.
We actually went there when we were out in Utah. Went to his record yard, so
Yeah.
that was pretty cool. Yeah, so outside the gun stuff, I think those are probably the two I watch the most.
Well, it's still kind of overlanding.
It
It's
is.
just overlanding for idiots.
Well, yeah, what
Or
people
idiots
do.
overlanding.
Right. But yeah, it's fun. So it's stuff outside of this world. But yeah, what about you? What other stuff?
Me,
What do you
I don't know,
watch?
I'm all over the map. I'll watch, I'm watching all sorts of random stuff just because usually when I'm watching YouTube, it's like I want my brain to wind down before I try to go to sleep. So I'm
Exactly.
getting the day purged.
Yep.
And I'll watch, there's this one guy who does like 25 things about stuff, this Mike Estrin guy. He
I've
does
seen
list
those,
25. And he's kind of interesting for 90% of it. Otherwise, sometimes I'm like, yeah, okay, it's not holding my interest. I thought the topic was good, but some like old ancient history stuff I'll watch, a little bit of mythology things. It's not, there are some shooting related stuff. There is some, outdoor stuff, like some outdoor gear, things like that. I'm always thinking, it's funny. And I'm gonna pick on you a little bit, Matt. And I know you'll pick on me because we're gonna get it.
Here we go.
But like some of the gadget stuff, I'm like, would Matt buy that?
No, that's a good question.
But then usually it turns around, it's like, you know what? I think I would want to buy that.
There you go. There you go.
Using gadgets to solve the problem, right?
Right.
A lot of like workout stuff. I'm picking up. I think over the next winter, this downtime, if we get a downtime,
What's that?
I think I want to pursue a fitness coach certificate. Because of I've got a lifelong interest in this, so I might as well put it to use somewhere and get that.
I'm pursuing
set.
fitness sub in my mouth. But
Matt's fitness pizza in his mouth.
fitness pizza, right? Exactly.
But some of the fitness stuff, I'm kind of seeing where the trends are going. Right?
I know you've always been in that, so yeah, that makes sense.
You think I'd be a lot bigger and a lot stronger, but hey, at least I'm in very good health for
almost senior citizen. Oh wait,
yeah,
oh.
almost. Okay,
you're
and Matt
pretty
has
good- you're
suddenly
pretty
left the
good.
chat
Oh.
in the room altogether. What's that choking sound you hear? That's Matt. But in reality, a lot of the podcasts I watch, it's just random stuff, but they tend to have a theme. There's a British guy, I forgot, I keep forgetting his name, but he does like certain interesting side projects and mega projects and other things.
We've talked about him before.
Yeah, and I kind of like his approach on things and how he comes at the subject.
There's a lot of history stuff I watch. A lot of stuff on like World War II stuff I still watch.
Yeah.
My degree's in history. So, and
Yeah.
I have to give a shout out to my friend and someone I've trained with, and you've had on the podcast.
Yep.
Craig
And
Caudill at Nature Reliance
I do
School.
watch some of his stuff too. Yep.
If you're going to get into outdoor stuff, his stuff is very well worth watching.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah. I should get more of his stuff in my rotation, but
Yeah.
I'll get on
He's
his
good.
internet, on his webpage.
Yep.
And I've been watching some of his videos, like
Yeah.
some of his pre-training videos are really good.
Really good stuff.
He
Yeah.
does a lot of good work. So, guys,
So-
follow him.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. You pick one.
Me pick one. Why are Glocks so ugly?
Because they don't have to be beautiful to work.
That's right. Because
the
they work.
beauty is the simplicity.
The beauty is in the design and the simplicity of the
And
design.
trust me, I'll agree with you. I think it's rectangular bar or square bar stock with a handle on it.
But here's the funny part. I say, Glocks are ugly, right? But have you seen a Springfield Echelon? Come on.
Yeah.
It's not. Is that good looking? Come on. Yeah. So.
You know what gun has some really nice curves?
What's that?
High Point. they just have curves to them.
Junk in the trunk.
But so why are Glocks so ugly? Well, because they don't need to be beautiful.
Ask
How's that?
Gaston, right? Ask Gaston. They don't
Yeah.
have to be. Okay.
He wasn't looking for pretty. He was looking for works. All right, I'll pull one out.
Yep.
Let's see, we got rid of this one. Here's one that really comes up every time we talk about it. What distance do you zero red dots at?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay.
Yep.
Now that can be subjective, but for the most part, what I've heard, you zero them at 10 and you confirm it at 25.
That's exactly what I do.
Especially for more like for defensive. But
For
I've heard
defensive
people say they zero them at 7 and do it at 15.
So
Whatever.
here's the problem. 10 yards, most people who have decent skills can shoot fairly well at 10 yards.
Yeah, you can get a decent group.
Okay, if you're a pretty good shooter. Beyond that, unless you're a really good shooter, I don't think most people can shoot well enough to actually zero their gun. Unless they're totally benching it, locking it in and all that. 10 yards is a good distance to zero at for most people. And it can be done easily without a lot of, hassle. So 10 yards. Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
I would do that. And if you want to confirm it, go to 25. But
Yeah, go to 25,
if you have the
shoot
skill.
some groups and see how it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, your turn. Pull one up.
Let's see. What Hollywood gun stereotype bugs you the most?
Almost all of them.
I gotta think, yeah. Hollywood. Period.
Hollywood.
End of story. Move on. The one is the unlimited ammo, right? Never having to reload. No.
Yeah.
No, that just it's so just weird, unrealistic for someone that does shoot a lot. That it's annoying. It's just annoying.
So I just had a flashback to the episode that Ed and I did with the movie reloads.
Oh.
And Sylvester Stallone in The Expendables, just, I don't know how fast he got those reloads done. But it was just amazing.
Right.
He was, ba, 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 boom, ba, 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 boom. So whatever. One of the things that does bug me is there's a couple current shows that I'm watching, and I'll tell you, if anybody listening to this is a Hollywood producer or an executive producer or somebody who influences choices on technical advisors, I'm for hire.
We are available.
You know why? Because your grips suck. And quit
That's a good
making
one.
cocking sounds with Glocks and Strucker fired guns.
Awesome.
Ed's over here dying now. But no,
Awesome.
I'm watching a current show and they're practically teacupping.
Yeah, yeah.
Their support hand
They
is
got the- yeah.
underneath
Oh, yeah.
the gun. And it's like, no, that's not how, I get it. It's Hollywood. You got to work with what you got.
Yep.
Some stars are just like, this is the way I'm going to do it. I don't care. But, you get guys like Keanu Reeves. He's willing to learn stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. And even though there's still some Hollywood factor to it, at least the gun handling is pretty darn good.
Pretty spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, there's a bunch of other actors like that too that are like, hey, I'm going to be true to how this should be.
Right.
Right. And
Not
that's
too many.
good.
There's not too
but,
many.
oh my God, Hollywood,
Yeah.
stop it. Please. Call us up. We'll help
Hey,
you fix
We're
it.
available. Call.
Yeah. I'm not that expensive, but I'm worth it. All right. What can we pull out here? Let's see. I know. We'll get this one out of the way. When you're headed to the range, what music type hypes you up? I can tell what my favorite song is when I'm going to the range if I get a chance to put it on the radio.
Okay.
AC/DC's Thunderstruck.
That's my theme song you stole from me.
No, just because you're Thunderwoody.
Thunderwood. Yes. Thunderwood. There's a reason for that.
Thunderwoody.
Yes. Definitely AC/DC's in that rotation.
Oh yeah, there's a few other good ones in
yeah.
there. You know, I've thrown some Queen on there. I've thrown some couple really hard rock ones in there. They're pretty good. I got like a wide range of music I like.
Yeah,
So
pretty eclectic in my music taste.
yeah, Carly
CC
Simon really gets it going,
yeah,
right?
Carly Simon, right.
No.
CCR, Bad Mood Rising.
Oh yeah,
That's one.
Yeah, that's good.
That's one out, yeah.
How about Little Feat, Driver's Seat? Have you ever heard that one?
Yeah, for that.
That's a good song. I like, it's
there's
a
a
good
few.
moving beat, right?
Right.
So yeah, but yeah, like I can tell you when I first put the sound system in the classroom, I know you weren't here for this. When I had it all tuned, ready to go, I set up the microphone, got it all set, and that was the first song that I wound it up to see how it played, and I'll tell you, it was awesome. I had, like the adrenaline was going, I had prickly skin just from and it was loud. So, and then upstairs came downstairs. Can you stop that? We can't talk up here. So it's loud when the neighbors complain.
When the neighbors
right?
are complaining, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
and
right.
then turn it up 2 more points. All right, so your turn.
If you could change one firearm law, what would it be? I wouldn't say change. I would say abolish.
Just one.
Yeah,
Let's see. How wide ranging can I get?
it's a pretty open-ended question.
The ability for the ATF to make any decisions whatsoever.
That's a good one.
Does that help?
Yeah, I'd get rid of NFA.
Yeah.
Just get rid of NFA.
Yeah, I would.
Yep.
I would. You know what? I kind of like where things are going because I know that I don't think it was Thomas Massey, but somebody close to him put in the Hearing Protection Act. Mm-hmm. And then it might get some traction this year. They're taking advantage of the lead that the Republicans have. But I wouldn't mind owning a suppressor just for shooting at the range and just for something different.
Well, and people think of it from that perspective. Then I could own a machine gun. I could own a suppressor easier than you can now. But really, a lot of the modern gun laws are based off of NFA, state laws and that. So it would disrupt a lot of the other laws. So it would have trickle down effect. I get rid of NFA.
So basically, anything that violates the Second Amendment, let's get rid of it.
I like it.
Okay, I'm good.
Good to go.
Okay.
All right.
All right, let's see.
What do you got?
Oh, we've had this discussion on a podcast. Rifle, shotgun, or pistol?
No.
Well, I guess it depends for what.
For what? That was my first. Yeah.
Right?
Right. For what?
Yeah. For personal protection, close range kind of stuff, obviously pistol.
I mean, pistol is versatile in the fact you can take it with you.
Yeah.
That's what makes it.
It's highly concealable.
Yeah.
Handy. But depending on the job, really.
It does.
If you tell me,
it's
for
all
home
good.
defense, shotgun with some number 4 buckshot does a pretty good trick.
Yeah, I mean I have a shotgun at home with number 4 buck for home defense, so that's pretty much for that. That's what I would do.
The area I'm in, I'm in a fairly rural area now, so even a rifle would be okay.
Right.
Depending on the caliber, I'm not going to, start running around the house with a 30-06 or, my Garand or anything
Something
because that's going
5.56 though
to
would
put
be-
holes through a couple houses.
Yeah.
But 223 556 something
what's the
varmint
mission?
caliber.
I think that's the thing. What's the mission?
What's the mission?
Yep.
So it really it's an open-ended question, guys. So it depends on really what you want to do.
Put it in the comments: rifle, shotgun, pistol, and what you're using it for.
Yeah, and
we'll-
why.
And why. We'll comment what we think. Yep.
All right, hit one.
Let's see. Single best gun you've ever shot.
That's a good one.
I really had to think about this because I've shot so many guns. And
I'm going to surprise Ed because it may not be a Glock. Ed's surprise face just came out. I didn't know he had it. I didn't know he had one of those.
well,
Yeah. Let's see. Man, I got to think about that one. Let's come back to that one. That's a good question.
Okay.
Now, whoever asked that, thank you. That's a good question.
Since we're thinking about that, we'll come back. What's the one gun you take to the zombie apocalypse?
Well, let's see. We all know how you're supposed to stop zombies.
Right.
Headshots, right?
Right.
So a shotgun blast with pretty much any load close range to the face will do it.
This is why I work for him. This is exactly my thought too.
But then
Exactly
again,
my
if
thought.
I want to create a
God.
buffer, and build up, an obstacle like a berm of zombies that the other zombies are going to have to climb over, I'm going to want a rifle that I could hit them long range. at.
Right? Yeah,
it takes a little more skill.
I've
but
considered that.
Figure a couple 100 yards, I can probably make that happen.
Yep.
Okay. Pistol, well, that's in case they get in
That's close,
really
yeah.
close, because I don't
Exactly.
want to get zombie goo on me.
No.
So I'm thinking my first choice on that one is going to be a shotgun with whatever I can stuff into the tube and get moving.
Yep. I was thinking the same thing. I would take a 1301 for sure.
There you go. Yep.
Most reliable semi-auto that I'm aware of that's currently made. So reliability and those one-shot zombie stops.
Yeah.
I'm good to go. Yep.
All right.
Cool.
So here's one.
Okay. What do you got?
I'm going to build up to it. What's the funniest excuse you've heard for not hitting the target? I don't know.
Excuse.
We've heard all sorts of excuses.
They're all excuses.
My sights are off, and then we shoot it, and it's fine.
It was the Coriolis effect at 5 yards.
That's right. The Earth stopped rotating for half a second.
I rotated faster.
I think so the funniest excuse, I don't know, but let's just go down the list of some of them. Let's get our couple, 5 of them.
Okay.
Only 5.
Okay.
Only 5. My eyes were closed. I didn't know how to line the sights up.
Well, yeah, I hear that almost every
Okay.
class. Yeah.
In general, it's the gun's fault.
It's always the gun.
It's always the gun's fault,
Always
right?
the gun.
What about you?
My favorite is I didn't have sights on my gun. And then I looked, and they really didn't have sights on their gun.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
I was like, what?
I'll give you that one.
Wait, what? And like, oh, you don't, there's no sights on that gun.
I know what it was. I don't have the accurate ammo in my gun.
I've heard that one. Yep, that's a good one.
I got to get the better ammo in my gun.
Yeah, got some of that good ammo?
Yeah, I don't know. Is it just barely coming out the end of the barrel? I don't know. Yeah, we've heard some odd ones, but I don't know if there's one that would rise to the top as the funniest.
Those are all like pretty funny.
Oh boy. Let's see. Here's something that's a little more serious. Is it worth it to practice drawing from a different holster locations, from different carry locations? Maybe when you're wearing a suit. Wait a minute. At the beach. Okay. Or working out at the gym.
Short answer, wherever you're carrying, you should have practiced drawing from that location.
Exactly.
So yes, the answer is yes.
Yeah. At the beach, I don't know. That might be off-body carry, but security sucks because you can't go in the water with your gun unless it's a Glock and Marine Cups.
Well, we have an instructor that you might want to ask about that. 22.
In a baggie? In board shorts?
Not me. Not me.
In board shorts?
In board shorts. Yep.
Yeah. Well, got to suck all the air out of it or it gets awkward.
Yep. North American Arms 22.
Okay. I can see it.
Hopefully not.
Well, you're not supposed to see it. I can see that happening.
I can do that. But yeah, draw from wherever you're carrying. Practice that. Yes, let's do that.
Working out at the gym. I've carried at the gym.
Yeah.
One of the gyms I worked
absolutely.
out was not in a very great area.
Yep.
And
Fanny pack for the gym.
Yep, fanny pack for the gym.
Fanny pack for the beach for me. That's my carry on the beach.
I had depends on what you're doing that day, but I had one of the belly band holsters under my hoodie, and it never gotten away. It was a little bit smaller gun.
The pistol wear holsters we have.
Yep,
Same idea.
exactly.
Yeah, I've used
Where
that.
do we have those?
What's that?
Where do we have those?
Maybe at the carry gear store.
At the Carry Gear store. Yeah,
That's right. That's right.
All right, throw one
let's
out
see.
there. Let's pick one that.
Chevy, Ford, or Toyota.
It's another one of those. Depends on what you're doing. I know that a lot of Toyota trucks,
Yep.
especially, are favored for some off-roaders because of the way their suspensions are made and the way the frames are made and way
there's aftermarket support.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I've driven a few of them on on different courses and everything, and I get it. They just work.
Yeah. My personal,
You're not very partial to Fords anymore.
No surprise. Well, I tell you what, I still Toyota all the way. I would buy a Ford second to a Toyota for sure. I'll never buy a Dodge, and I shouldn't say that, but
Yeah,
I
be careful.
probably would never buy a Dodge. But I definitely will never buy a Chevy.
Okay.
It's just not. Yeah, I have reasons.
We've all had personal experiences.
Right.
You know, I had, you know, if I look at the trucks I've had more Chevy GM products than all the other makes. I've had, I had Nissan a while ago, and one of the Nissan hard bodies before they became really ugly. And then I had a Ford F-250, which I loved the truck. The motor didn't love the plugs, and they
that's
kept
common.
spitting them out.
That's common.
It was common in that
yes.
3-year span
That
with that
genre.
motor.
Yep.
And oh my God, you know, after twice, I just got it fixed and sold it. But I loved the truck. The truck was great. It rode nice. It was beautiful inside. It was comfortable, but it was just the motor didn't want to keep together. I don't think I've owned, I got to go back. I don't think I've owned a Toyota product, but I've driven a lot of them, either rentals or through friends, and borrowed them, and in maybe loaner vehicles.
Right.
And I kind of do own one
I was
by
gonna say,
proxy.
isn't there one in your household now?
I do, Wendy owns one. She's got a RAV4, which actually rides very nice. I'm very impressed with it.
Yeah, they're
for
nice.
for that small crossover SUV.
Mid-size SUV.
Yeah.
Yep.
Would I say I would ever buy one? I don't know. It depends on what my needs are down the road.
Right.
You know, who knows?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't be against buying a Toyota, but I kind of go to GMs for just whatever reason. Yeah. So again, it's another one of those. What do you need it for?
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
That's true.
Okay.
What do you
Let's get. Here's a pretty serious one.
Okay.
All right. We'll get. Do I have a duty to retreat in my home if I'm alone?
Ooh.
Well, if we want to get really analytical on this, if you're alone, that means nobody's in the house. Why are you going to retreat? But if somebody breaks in and is threatening you, now we have a self-defense situation. We'll talk about that.
Right.
Okay.
So short answer on that, right?
Short answer is
you don't have a duty to retreat.
Depends on the state.
I was going, depending on in most states.
In most states, yes.
However, maybe you should.
Yeah, there are some states that believe you should make them dinner and give them everything you own.
Especially if you're alone, right? That's, who are you protecting? If you can't retreat, that's different. But maybe you should.
Yeah,
So.
I try to influence people in saying, like, look, whatever you can do to avoid having to hurt another human being is probably the best thing in the world you could do.
You should do that, right?
All right.
If at all possible, you should do
because you're going to minimize your legal involvement. You're probably going to minimize any injury and financial responsibility on this. So, everything you can do. And people... in the legalities classes we have, people get pretty hot about this because they want to defend their home. And I get it. I fully understand it. But there might be a time where that's not the thing to do. And the thing to do is defend yourself and or your family and leave and let the police fix it.
Right.
Okay. But we also know that there might be a situation where you can't leave. You can't retreat.
Right.
So, guys, in New York, the phrase is... to retreat with complete personal safety to oneself and others. That's if you're outside the home. Right. That does not exist in New York. You have the right, legally, to defend your home. Castle Doctrine. We have simplified Castle Doctrine.
In the home, yeah.
Whereas some states have expanded Castle Doctrine, a.k.a. stand your ground laws.
Right. Inside your home, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So I would say it's not an absolute yes or no, but I would say if you can, do it, because you're going to save a whole lot of mess, both legally, financially, and cleanup wise.
True.
Okay.
True.
All right. What do you got? You want to echo that?
Let's dovetail. Well, let's dovetail on that because what you said is exactly right. There's nothing else to add.
Yeah.
But the next question actually on that list was, do I have a duty to retreat in public?
That always follows that first question.
I don't know where the safe place might be.
Yeah.
So, knowing the safe place, that's what the law says. We were just kind of talking about this. It says you have a duty to retreat if you can retreat with complete personal safety to yourself and others.
Right. But what if I don't know where safe is?
Right. Well, right.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But it doesn't say to a safe place with safety. So do you perceive you can leave without being hurt or someone else being hurt?
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
They're talking about the immediate area that is the danger area, and you got to go somewhere else.
Where can you get to?
Yeah.
Because that could change the situation. You may think something's safe, and then it's not as well. So, you do have a duty to retreat in public if you can do so with safety to yourself and others.
Yeah.
But if that's not safe, then you don't have a duty to retreat
Right.
at that point.
And not every state has that. There's
No, stand your ground again.
I remember we looked that up, and I don't remember the number. I'm not going to say the number, but I know there's a number of states that have that caveat that if you're in a public place and you're threatened with the use of force and you can retreat with some measure of safety, you have to do it.
Well, and it goes to spectrum too, because even states with stand your ground
Mm-hmm.
have some of them will still have some wording about
Yes.
being able to get away safely.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like contradictory, but it's a weird situation. You have to really look at what you're doing right in that moment and what's happening in that moment.
So, guys and gals, the best answer is learn what your state's laws are and follow them.
All those laws, right? Yeah, that's true.
Don't listen to us in New York unless you're in New York.
But again,
New York's stupid.
if it's not safe, you can protect yourself
Yep.
and other people. That's the bottom line.
Okay. All right. So whatever. Here's another one. Let's just stay on this topic for a little bit. Would you ever answer or go answer a gun call or emergency, like say at your kid's school or community center? Well, that's another. It's a very situational dependent thing,
That's
right?
extremely situational. Dependent.
If I was let's put some disclaimers on this one, okay? In most states, if the criminal or the assaulter or what bad guy is doing everything that meets the threshold or passes the threshold for the use of deadly physical force, okay? In most states, there is no requirement for you to use deadly physical force. There's just the allowance.
Right, you're not required to act.
Yes.
Yes,
You're not
allowed to if.
Yeah. Let's bear in mind that maybe people are listening may or may not be police officers. So if you're a police officer, there might be some legal criteria where you have to go do something about it.
We're talking civilian, right?
But if we're talking civilian, I don't know of many places that would have a law that says, "Oh, look, he's doing that. I have to go do something. I'm bound by law to do something."
But they're asking, would we?
Yeah.
And again, we're talking. Okay, let's put another caveat on this. They're asking, would we?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying anyone else should do this, okay? Because it depends on your ability, your level of training, the gear you have, the situation you find yourself in. There's a whole list of stuff.
And one more thing.
Yep, go for it.
The willingness to use that.
Exactly. You have to be willing to do it.
Yeah.
I would say I would really have to know what the circumstance is and what was going on, but I would not rule out acting.
Yes.
If I thought I could stop something, and I have a very personal experience about this, if I thought I could stop someone, I would do it, but I'd have to know what was going on.
Yeah, I'd have to be, I'd have to be, what do they say? I'd have to know in the truth in its purest form.
Exactly.
I'd have to be 100% convinced that I am the guy that's got to stop this.
Yes, but that's with my skill level,
Yes.
my training, my background.
Yes.
Not anybody else's.
There are so many pitfalls if you do it.
Well,
and you do it wrong.
And that's where I was going next with this whole thing is like, if you start thinking about this, you got to understand, you go running down to your kid's school, even with your concealed carry pistol, there's probably 50 to 100 cops, if something is going on there, heading that same direction at the same time.
Yeah.
So the chances of you actually being able to do anything is pretty low. So there's going to be other first responders whose job it is getting there probably ahead of you.
I won't get into the answers, but I've been asked some very direct questions like years ago with the Aurora, Colorado theater shooter. Okay. I had people ask me directly, what would you do if you were in that theater? And I had a very direct answer that scared them.
I know that answer.
And I also told them it's not a guaranteed answer. That's one of my answers.
Right. Again, in that situation, it's going to change depending on circumstance.
Yeah. My primary answer is how can I get out of this without me and my loved ones getting hurt?
How can I get my people out? My people.
But if the problem was blocking the exit, I have another answer that I would probably do. And it would scare a lot of people and it would be very, very harsh.
Yeah, well.
But it would have to be done.
And would deserve it at that point.
And I'm not looking, and believe me, I'm not looking to be a hero. I'm not looking to be anything. I'm just looking to protect me and my loved ones and other innocent people if I can.
Yep.
And that's, people, I'll close with this. I carry a gun to protect myself.
Right.
Okay.
Same.
I also carry a gun to protect my inner circle of people.
Yes. That's smart.
But myself is first, because it's kind of like the airline thing. Put on your mask first
can't protect
before
somebody else, right.
before you put somebody else's on, right?
Right.
So yeah, that is that's a podcast idea. Maybe advice on responding to an incident.
My recommendation is don't do it.
Don't go.
My recommendation
We'll
is
start
don't
with
do
that.
it. You should not do it.
Yeah. All
I
right.
probably shouldn't either, but so I'll leave it at that. But
I can't rule it out, but I can't rule it in either.
yeah.
It all depends on what's going to happen or what I figure is going to happen in the, what's the, is somebody coming? Is somebody else coming?
Yeah. Well,
Right?
that would be a big one, right?
If nobody else is
If there's
coming,
no responders coming, well, yeah.
guess what?
Right.
I'm the responder today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So let's change a little bit. Where do you want to go?
Let's go back to what's the best gun we ever shot.
I haven't
Do
had
you have
time
an
to think
answer
about
yet?
that. No, I
You
don't.
want me to give you mine first?
Why don't you go ahead?
You're going to be totally everyone's going to be surprised by this.
Probably.
The best gun I've ever shot. It's not the best gun. It's just the best gun I've ever shot. Desert Eagle, 50 AE.
Okay.
Insane gun, but the gun, the way it's built, the way it's put together, the fact that it handles that giant cartridge.
Cartridge the size of a carrot.
It is freaking amazing.
Yeah.
It's freaking amazing.
I have shot one.
That doesn't mean I want to carry it. That doesn't mean, I
Yeah.
want to shoot 100 rounds out of it.
But it was cool to do it,
But it
wasn't
was insanely cool to shoot it.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Actually, I have one. I'll split my answer a little bit. One of the guns that was the most impressive to shoot
Okay.
was the longer barrel Smith & Wesson 500.
Oh, okay.
I shot one round at a time
Yeah, well, that's good.
because the action on that is so beautiful. And I'll tell you, I shot it at a plate. I think we did it at about 35 yards just for the challenge, but it was a big plate. I'll give myself a little credit. It was a bigger plate. It wasn't like an 8-inch plate. And I'll tell you, it hit that plate. It sounded like a gong. Whereas 9mm were ting, ting, ting. This thing, it sounded like the bells in the cathedral. That was impressive.
Right.
I've got the answer. The single best gun I've ever shot. It was years ago when I went to SHOT Show, one of my first trips to SHOT Show. I was going with a manufacturer, and I got to get on the range. I went to range day. And I was watching a demo on a new rifle and a new cartridge that was out back then. And the guy turned around and he's like, "Does anybody want to shoot that?" And I didn't know if I could or not because I was just there, a quote, as an observer. And I just raised my hand and he goes, "Okay, come on out." I got to shoot 3 rounds of the .338 Lapua.
Oh, okay.
And I'll tell you, that was cool. He had it zeroed. He told me where to put it. And we were shooting, I don't remember the distance, but it was like coffee break distance. You could have a break, drink some coffee before the round hit the target. I literally counted seconds before the round hit the target. That was just, for me, like a wow factor. And I know he did all the work. All I had to do was stabilize the rifle and move the trigger. But I'll tell you, that would be my answer. That was just awesome.
I can see that. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Okay.
And the recoil blast would you just got slapped in the face with it. It was the reverse muzzle brake on that thing. Okay.
Wow.
Whew, getting chills now. Whew. All right. Where are we? What do we got?
You got to pick one.
All right. Should you rack a shotgun to scare away home invaders?
My short answer, why not? Silent assassin. I hate the silent assassin.
Yeah. Let's give them fair warning to get out of the house.
The gunfight where you don't actually have to shoot anyone is the gunfight that you win. That's the way you want to do it, right?
Yep.
You actually don't want to have to shoot. So if I rack the shotgun in the middle of the night and the guy goes, "Oh crap," and now he runs away, I am happy with that. This idea that you want to keep a round in the chamber and you're gonna sneak down the hallway and ambush this dude. Legally, think about that, right? And number 2, if you've ever gotten up at 3 a.m. in your house How quiet is your house? As soon as you stepped out of bed, that guy knew you were there. That bad person knew you were there. That racket and the shotgun was not the first indicator that someone else was in the house. Okay.
With my luck, I'm stubbing my toe on the bedpost.
Yeah, exactly. And, whacking the door frame.
And he's going to hear some interesting words when I do that.
So I don't have a problem, and I think the liability of storing the gun with a round in the chamber is high enough. I'd rather rack the gun.
Yeah.
And go that route. So.
Keep it in, let's see, people call that condition 2, loaded tube.
Yeah. I've come up with
action ready to go.
Homeowner ready, right?
Homeowner ready. Yeah, there you go. Nothing in the chamber, but ready to go.
Right, tube full, but the action's locked forward and safety's on, and I can get it ready fast enough.
So let's kind of carry on to that a little bit, because we've gotten this answer. What do you think about staging guns around your house?
Oh yeah, that's in here, right, about staging guns.
It depends.
Yeah, so I think, I don't know. I struggle with this.
Here are my questions, because I've gotten this question quite a bit.
Yeah.
All right. What do you plan on staging them in? How are you going to secure them?
Exactly.
Are you going to just stick that shotgun behind the door? Where do you live? Do you live in an area where people break into homes a lot?
Right.
You probably don't want to leave the gun unattended.
And even especially in our state, no matter where you live,
it'll be a criminal charge.
Right.
But you think about it this way, like if you stage them around the house, it's going to take you 20 minutes to secure all the guns when you decide to go out of the house.
Well, the other thing no one that ever brings this up ever thinks about is the bad guy can find that gun.
Yeah.
Especially if it's not secured, and then they can use that gun against you.
And they know where to look.
Well, right. Yeah, exactly. So
they're not stupid. They're lazy.
I'm not against having guns in different places, but they got to be secured. And you got to understand what your arrangement is. Do you have young kids that live with you, visit your house, teenagers who are in and out of the house, all that stuff?
Yeah.
So in general, it's kind of like not a good idea.
Right.
Unless you can do it in a way that they're secure.
Yeah. If you can get a secure location for it, that's what I came up with the term ready access.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
A couple quick steps, it's in your hands, it's ready to go. Right. But it's secure enough.
Yep.
It's not a gun safe, but it's locked. Mm-hmm. Okay, maybe. But yeah, it's very problematic just leaving them laying around. And I know there's a lot of people that do it.
Different places in the house. I mean, that's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Actually, there's one that kind of goes on to that. How heavy is your gun safe?
Empty or full?
Well, that is the question.
Well,
it's very heavy.
You remember the one that I just bought a couple years ago?
Yeah, I do. Oh boy.
Make sure if you buy a good gun safe, make sure the door can come off so it's easier to move. Otherwise, you're moving the full weight of that safe.
Ooh.
And the doors are usually about a third of the weight, sometimes
half. A lot
half.
of the weight, yeah.
They take two people to move around. So that one gun safe we bought, that 30 gun safe.
Yeah.
No, that was a
20.
No, it was a 32.
32. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good size one. I'm happy with it. I love it. Yep. It works great. It's got doing everything I want. But that was 700 and something pounds.
Just the safe.
Just the safe.
Yep.
The other ones I have empty, they're like 400.
Yeah.
So there's a huge difference in there. There's a lot of weight and material. So how heavy is my gun safe?
Pretty heavy.
Well, right now, I don't know, how much does the average ranch house weigh or the concrete slab that it's sitting on, because they're attached to it.
Right, it's anchored, right. Which is a recommendation, right? Anchor your safe so the safe can't walk away.
Actually, how much does the earth weigh? Because that's what the concrete slab's attached to.
Right.
It's heavy. Let's see.
So my situation is slightly different. I don't have a giant safe because my basement stairs will not handle that much weight.
No.
So I have a couple of the smaller, or actually smaller safes.
Yeah.
So, each individual safe does not weigh that much. But
we call that modular.
They're modular. Yeah, that's right. But they weigh collectively quite a bit. So. Yep.
Okay, here's one that came up, and it's kind of a hot button in New York State right now over the last couple of years. Should civilians own body armor?
Yes.
Yes. Moving on.
That's right.
That was kind of a short one. I'm going to get another one in there. Okay. I just covered this with my student today. I was working with somebody in the I'll put a little plug out there, the USCCA Defensive Pistol Program, and doing private lessons with them. And they asked, how quick should my draw stroke be? And you have some people that'll give you this patent answer, right? You know, like there's industry standards. You see them when they do this other stuff. You know, there's some people that are always chasing that sub 1 second draw. I get it. That's cool. That means you've got the skill. You can produce that draw stroke from the go signal, and you can get one shot on target. But it's dependent on distance. So let's say it's a 7-yard shot, okay, which is like a typical engagement window. I've seen a lot of chatter where it should be anywhere from 2.25 to 2.5 seconds for a competent concealed carrier. What do you think? What would you suggest?
I would say under 2 for sure. 2.5 seems like a lot. That's a.
But I said competent concealed
competent,
carrier.
right? Yeah.
Not well trained, just competent.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
If we go well trained, absolutely 2 seconds.
At least that. Well trained to me is you're pushing down under that 2.5 to first shot.
Oh, yeah.
At least.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying you have to be the 1 second draw person. I think that's somewhat unrealistic. I think those guys who push that, a lot of them are doing it all from the perfect stance,
Yep.
completely ready to go.
They know that there's going to be a shooting solution
just a
after the
t-shirt
beep.
over the gun.
Yeah, and they're already cupping the t-shirt and it's ready to go.
Right. I mean, not saying it can't be done. It can.
Yeah.
1 second is absolutely, can be done.
Oh, I've seen guys do it with their hands out to their sides in their pockets.
Sure. I mean, anybody can do it if you practice it enough and become good at it. But is that realistic as a standard for most concealed carriers? Probably not.
Me, I'm happy with sub 1.5 second draw from concealment with a surprise start.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, like
Yeah.
it's going to happen, but it's a random start,
Yep.
right? In real life, here's how I explained it. In real life, the bad guy's already started the timer. You got to catch up.
You're always behind.
Yeah.
Always behind.
He started the timer 5 seconds ago because he's been following you for that long, or
Right.
minutes.
Right.
Okay, so his clock's already running, and you've got to realize it. So then your timer's got to start, and you've got to be faster.
So the real answer is your draw can never be fast enough because
That's
you're always
right.
behind.
Yeah.
But how fast are you competently able
That's right.
to draw the gun?
And what are the metrics? Well, whatever distance you place the target at, you can reliably guarantee a hit at that speed.
Right.
Okay, so some of these answers, guys, are going to be very, very different and very wide ranging. But if you want a metric, if you're just starting out, under 2.5 seconds is good from concealment, mind you, not open carry cheaters, but from concealment. And if you can get under 2 seconds, you're getting better. If you get under 1.5, you're a rock star, guys. You're doing really well. And if you push that 1 second envelope, good for you. That is awesome. I think that's really good. But also bear in mind that you're ready to go and you're probably primed. There's very few people have I seen do it from concealment without a staged ready position. But I know guys that can do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. You pull one out. What do you got?
Most difficult law enforcement or federal qual test to try and shoot?
Well,
I know my answer is right off the
years
top.
ago when the program got
I know where you're
kicked
going.
up right after 9/11 was the Air Marshal, and that qual has changed a lot.
I believe it's not as difficult as it was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
However,
It was difficult, but doable.
it was. I think I've only ever run that qual clean once.
Okay.
The original the traditional, 20-year-old Air Marshal qual. It's a tough one.
So there's also drills that people call as quals, right? There's like a short one.
Yeah.
1 to 2 rounds, 5 rounds, 10 rounds, whatever.
Yeah.
But if we did like let's say I think the Air Marshal was what, a 50 round when it started, or 60?
I believe it was 50 rounds.
Okay, so
I
let's
might
say it's a
be wrong on
50 round qual. The FBI qual, it's difficult for a novice shooter because of its standards, but for an experienced shooter, they can hit agent level all day long.
Yes.
Okay, we've run it with our masters, and those guys all get it.
I'll get it.
Right. The range master qual was pretty good, but we're talking law enforcement quals. There's some police departments out there that run a pretty tough one. They're doing increased heart rate
Range master
stuff.
qual's right up there, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I think if I had to say, a static qual, just a law enforcement thing, I would agree that the Air Marshal one was pretty tough. I think there's been, not to one up you, but I might have shot it like 10 or 12 times, and I might have cleaned it twice. So, maybe more. I don't
I've shot
remember.
it at least 7 or 8 times.
But we're talking about the
I've only cleaned
original
it
one
once.
before it got refined.
The original one, right?
The latest one is still pretty good, but it's been it's been relaxed a little bit.
Yes, I believe
If
it
we
has,
had
yes.
a one-step, not a multi-step qual like the Air Marshal qual where it's different stages.
Okay.
To be honest, and not just because, I teach for him and everything, but I think Dave Spalding's Handgun Combatives 2x2x2 drill is very
That's a tough
hard to
drill,
clean
right,
and
yeah.
do.
Yep.
There are aliens out there dressed as shooters that can do this really well.
Yeah.
And I've met some of them, and these guys are just phenomenal shooters.
Right.
My goal is to get that thing 8 out of 10 times. And I've gotten to 6. I've run it 10 times, and I've cleaned it 6. Now, I'll explain the drill, guys. You're at 20 feet. And you've got a 3x5 card in the middle of a target, blank target. And from concealment, you have 2 seconds to put 2 rounds on that 3x5. And there's a lot of people out there go, oh, that's not that hard to do.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
It's doable, but
Yes.
to get both hits on target under 2 seconds, it's pretty good.
I've done it a bunch of times just over.
Yeah.
I have not once been able to get it right on 2 seconds.
I think I found my secret, but I haven't proof tested it where I can get to that 8 to 10. Once I get 8 out of 10, I'm going to tell you what I figured out. But it's a tough qual, and there's other ones out there. There's some guys out there. They've come up with some really impossible drills.
Yep.
If you want to call the Meltdown 2 a qual,
I don't know if it's a qual. But it's a
Ed
mind
just ran out of the building. I
It's a
mentioned
mind
it.
bender.
Well, some other people
I think
use it's a mind F.
we should go shoot that one on the range for the podcast.
I think we should.
We should get a couple.
There's going to be a
people
lot
shoot
of outtakes because it's really tough to
it.
do
It's
well.
Really tough.
We had one guy, and I'll name him. I don't know if he listens to the podcast, but Galen, he
yeah.
destroyed it. He got lucky one day, and
He
he
had
admits
almost it was the perfect run.
Yeah,
The way the drill is set up
It
and
just
the way
worked
it
out
worked
for him.
everything fell into place.
and he admits it.
Yeah.
he did it again, and it wasn't
so
great.
good. Yep.
But he still did well. All right. So what else we got? Okay, here's one. I'm getting slightly triggered, Ed, because
Okay.
Ed did our show notes.
Oh boy.
This is almost personally offending, but since I have thick skin and I can get over things pretty well, I'm just going to pick on them. What do you guys think about pineapple on pizza? Personally, I like it because it gives that, pineapple and ham or pineapple and pepperoni gives that a kind of nice juxtaposition of tastes.
I'm all in for the wine pizza.
I love it.
All in. Love it. Love it.
From Ed's mimic and miming over behind the console, I'm thinking he's
He
not a
doesn't
fan.
like it so much.
It's probably because he hasn't tried it. He's afraid. So maybe we'll have Ed chime in at some point, and he can say what he puts on pizza. There's probably some stuff that Matt and I would go.
Probably true.
Now I get it. There's traditional pizza that there's traditionalists. It's like no, it's always got to be this. But when I discovered pineapple on pizza, I was like, wow, this is actually pretty good.
I like all kinds of weird pizza. I had prime rib pizza a couple weeks ago, and the sauce was steak sauce,
Okay.
thickened steak. It was good. It was really good.
We just had some that was sweet and sour chicken pizza.
Oh, that sounds good too.
So sweet and tangy they
Yeah,
called
I
it.
like that.
So yeah.
Cool. All right.
So there you go. What else we got? Oh, there's a couple left here.
Yep. How about, is it a good idea to keep a gun locked in the car?
That's another situational answer.
Yeah. I mean, mostly the answer is no,
Yeah, no.
but
If you have to,
if you have to, you should keep it locked and secured in the car, yes, and have a way to do that. And we always recommend people have a way to secure their firearm in their car in case they have to secure the gun in their car and leave it there.
Yeah, because there's going to be a place where you cannot carry. It's in every state.
There's going to be something, right?
There's everywhere. There's going to be a place that you're going to come across. You just can't do it.
But like leave it in there overnight, leave it in there for, no.
No. Don't leave it long term.
Nope.
Guys, here's the thing. We're all aware of that people break into vehicles.
Yeah.
Just like they break into houses. So don't leave your guns unsecured. The number of clients we've had that have had guns stolen out of cars because they were just in the house for a minute, or they went in the house and fell asleep and their car was out unlocked and their gun was there. One is far too many. Okay, that's to me that's an irresponsible gun owner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've got a console vault in my truck. I've got a lockbox and a couple other locking devices in my other vehicles, and as a last ditch measure, I will secure the gun in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Other than that, I plan my trip better, and I just augment my loadout, and I don't take the lethal weapon, and I take the non-lethal stuff.
lethal
So at least I have
yeah.
some sort of tool.
Yep.
Okay.
What we got left?
Let's see. This one's kind of an interesting question. What is the one piece of advice that has had the largest impact in your life?
That's tough.
That was like almost the reaction when Dave Spalding gave me when I said, what's the biggest moment in your life that had the biggest impact? Right?
I've been
It's kind of the
sitting
same
here
thing.
a whole night, a whole evening. We've been doing this, thinking about that question. Not 100%
One piece
sure.
of advice. Well, there's been a lot. Don't be stupid is one of the biggest ones.
That's when I was thinking, like, don't fuck it up was mine. But oh, God.
I've had my uncles give me some advice on stuff. My dad, obviously, good friends that meant well. It was, there's a lot out there. Try to pick one out of that.
I know. That's hard.
Well, I'll go on the instructor side because I've had some really, really good people influence my path as an instructor. And I had one of them tell me quite some time ago that at the end of the day, you better be able to look in the mirror and tell yourself you did a damn good job. Because if you can't, you better figure out what went wrong.
Well, I can't.
And you better fix it before you do another class.
That's good. Yeah.
So that rung with me. That stayed with me. In the personal life, it was basically like, don't go out there and hurt people that don't deserve it.
Right.
All right? Just don't do that. That was probably one of the things that wired me to be the protector mode, influenced a lot of my career choices and job choices, because I've always been in that protector mode in a way.
Right.
Right. And I am kind of a helper, I guess. I've stepped in on situations to help people that were in distress. So I'm kind of wired to do that. So it's like, yeah, don't hurt people that don't deserve it, but protect the innocent.
Right. Yeah, that's good.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anything coming to mind on your end?
Yeah, on mine, it's probably my grandfather was always about.
Stop that.
Stop that. Don't do that. I'll cut your ears off. You did say that. No, he was probably the best advice. Be true to yourself.
Yeah.
Don't do things because other people want you to do them. Do it because you want to do it. So yeah, be true to yourself. So that's probably the best advice, and I try to follow that. It's always hard, but try to follow that for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Always be true to yourself because who else you got, right?
Exactly. Be true
I've
to
had
who you are. Yeah.
I've had discussions with other guys in the training industry, and one of them, his big word was integrity.
Yeah.
Do everything you do with integrity.
Right.
So that's kind of like, be true to yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
same
pretty
idea.
cool.
It's the same idea.
And this guy, he lived it, he exhibited it every day. He did everything he could to back up that word.
Cool.
And, but, other than that, great questions, guys.
Those are good questions.
This
has been fun to answer a lot of these questions.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do another one another year or sooner if we get enough. Yeah.
Maybe like quarterly or something.
So, all right. So what do you want to leave them with, Matt? Be true to yourself, maybe?
Be true to yourself, yeah. No. Yeah, that's a good one. But also just, again, thank you guys for a year of the podcast and supporting us, sending us these great questions.
Yeah.
Some of them made us really think. They were a little challenging.
Oh, wait, there's one more we can answer.
What's that?
This is a good one, not a funny one.
Okay,
This is a good one. Okay. What is your favorite training academy or facility to visit?
3, 2, 1.
Blackwater.
Academy. Same thing.
Academy, same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going to Academy was probably one of the biggest wows. The first day I set foot on that place, I didn't know what to do. I was just lost.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah. We're not doing much there. We're going up to SIG Academy lately. So, and I'll tell you, that's still pretty impressive in its own right.
It is.
It's
SIG is a pretty impressive place.
It's
too.
pretty cool. I just spotted that one on there, so I figured a way to answer
that was a good one. That was a good one.
So chime in on what your favorite place is to visit. You
Yeah.
know,
Where have you trained? Where do you
Yeah.
want to train? Where do you want to go back?
I know where they want to train, where they need to train.
They should train here.
Rochester Personnel Defense, Lions Pride Training Group.
Yeah.
Buy all your stuff at the Carry Gear store. We've got to be promoters, man.
Shameless.
Yeah. So I'll echo what Matt said. Thank you, everybody, for supporting us. This is, we're turning a year old here. We're, every episode we figure some more out. We try to make every episode better. We're trying to put out a lot better content, which we are. We're getting there, and just keep looking for more because we're going to keep putting out more, and we will take your suggestions and go, oh, we didn't think about that, because you might come up with a podcast that we're just like, okay,
Yeah. Send those suggestions.
yeah. But again, don't forget to like, subscribe. Smash that
button.
Smash that button. Hashtag mash the button.
That's right.
And check out some more of our episodes. We've got a lot of good stuff out there, guys.
Yeah.
All right. We're out.
Out. Thank you.